A theme that I focus on quite often in my coaching and mentor sessions is on dominant expression and communication. So, if you find yourself struggling to find your dominant voice or the right words in a scene, stay tuned today as I teach you how to seduce a submissive through communication. If you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. I'm Miss LX and I'm so glad you're here. If you enjoy this video, hit like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you won't miss anything new. And if you find this content helpful, you can support the work that goes into this channel over at my Patreon, patreon.com/LXerotica. And if you go there today, you will find my Dominant Communication Guide, which has over a dozen practical communication strategies and over 35 erotic script ideas to help you explore your dominant voice. All right, so our first seduction strategy is to emulate the energy and style of a powerful person whom you admire until you can confidently own your dominance. So often, new or inexperienced dominants feel so overwhelmed and intimidated at the prospect of being aggressive or commanding in their communication, or even shy or nervous about speaking specific words or phrases. And if that's you right now, that's okay. You don't have to feel fully secure in your dominance yet. You're learning, you're growing, and you do not have to feel like an imposter in the process. And the process is similar to the way children learn, watching and mimicking. Is there a certain character, celebrity, or influencer who inspires you and ignites your sense of confidence and empowerment? Emulate their speech, body language, tone, cadence, manner of dress, etc., until it serves as a bridge to lead you into your own unique expression and communication. I personally was first introduced to BDSM almost 20 years ago and was inspired by dominant expressions in media at that time, such as Lady Heather and Miss Parker, who empowered me to find my own femdom energy, expression, and style simply by showing me that I was not alone in my desires or abilities, and that it was okay to be a strong, powerful woman. And the key is to practice until this energy, expression, and style become reflexive. In other words, practice your tone, cadence, delivery, body language, and facial expressions until words, phrases, commands, mannerisms, etc. become second nature. The goal here is much like muscle memory, okay? Have you ever started out with a new video game with complex controls? At first, you must memorize where your fingers need to go and in what order and what combinations of buttons will accomplish your goal in the game. But over time, that level of mindfulness is not necessary as your muscle memory grows and your hands naturally navigate the controls without conscious planning or attention. That is the power of intentional practice. And that's why I've created my Dominant Communication Guide on Patreon with over 12 communication strategies and 35 erotic script ideas to practice speaking with your dominant voice. Just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access. Additionally, don't underestimate the power of non-verbal communication, such as body language, facial expressions, gestures, signals, etc. Here's the thing. If you're aware of the energy you create as a dominant and learn how to read and adjust the energy of your submissive, everything from a shift in tone, a look in your eyes, or even what you do with your hands while you speak can do anything from arouse to break a submissive. And here's an example of what I mean. I'm going to speak to you in 3 different ways, and they will likely evoke 3 different sets of emotions, okay? So first example. Oh, what a good little one. You did such a good job for mommy. Where the fuck do you think you're going, Beta? Well, hello there. Are you ready to be a good little boy and please mistress? See what I mean? How you say something is just as impactful as what you say. So that leads us to our next point. Leave room in your tone and energy to escalate when needed for dramatic impact. For those of you with singing or theater experience like myself, you were likely instructed at one point how to create nuance in the song or line you were delivering. My vocal coach would often say, give yourself somewhere to go. And the same principle applies to your dominant energy and communication. For instance, if there's a moment written in the music for a loud and boisterous crescendo, you don't begin the song at that level of intensity or volume. You build into it. The same principle applies to your words. It's about creating dramatic tension with your energy and communication so that the points you wish to emphasize as a dominant have a deep and powerful impact, and you can lead your submissive through strategic inducement. Okay, so as an example, here's an excerpt from one of the stories from my second installment of BDSM Erotica, Red Room Diaries, which you can find in ebook and print on Amazon. I turned my attention to the face before me, sitting on her left leg and fidgeting with the hem of her dress. After months of loquacious emails, you finally muster the courage to enter my presence. Her voice is barely louder than a whisper. I'm sorry. You must be tired of me already. I'm tired of your indecision. I know. Part of me still doesn't even know why I'm here. I place my elbows on my thighs as I lean forward. You know exactly why you're here. I don't, though. Do not raise your voice at me, girl. Her head drops and her arms wrap up for a self-hug. Sorry. Look at me. Did someone force you to be here? No. No, ma'am. Sorry. No, ma'am. Is someone keeping you here against your will? No, ma'am. Then it seems to me you're here because you want to be here. But I don't know why. What's your favorite fruit? Oranges. You find oranges tasty? Yes, ma'am. Do you know why you find them tasty? No, ma'am. So, should you stop eating oranges because you're unable to logically quantify why they taste good to you? Her previously nervous expression fades into a blushing smile. No. So then, why don't you just listen to me and let go of everything else? Did you notice in this example how our femdom was able to adjust the submissive's energy and mindset with her use of strategic tone of voice? She started out a bit dismissive with her tone and energy, increased it to a predatory state, raised her voice and effectively reduced the submissive, then softened her tone and energy to more of a comforting state to cradle the level of exposure she just built within the submissive, all without laying a hand on the sub. That is the dominant power of using communication as inducement. So be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because next week I'm sharing even more dominant communication strategies with you. And again, if you want over a dozen communication strategies and 35 erotic script ideas to start exploring your dominant energy and voice, just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access to my dominant communication guide.